All right, so we're doing the word problems. We're continuing this. So it says a bedroom is 15 feet long by 12 feet wide. How much will it cost to carpet the room if the carpet costs $22 per square yard? Oh, here's a big problem. There's so many problems in this. So this is 15 feet, and this is 12 feet. But they say, how much is it going to cost if it's $22 per square yard? Do I have yards? Caitlin, what do you need? All right. So do I have yards, Leanna? Do I have yards? And Anna, make sure you're focusing because we're doing this problem. You make those into yards. How do I make those into yards? You divide it by 3. So I'm going to divide it by 3, divide it by 3. So I'm going to draw a new picture here. So my new picture is going to be, it's a 4 yards by 15 divided by 3 is 5 yards. So for every square yard, once I calculate this, it's going to be $22, $22, $22, $22. But I have to find out, first of all, how many square yards are in the floor. How do I find the area of a rectangle? Mateo, what's the formula for the area of a rectangle? It's what? Length times width or base times height? One of the two. So I'm going to stick with base times height. So the base is 4, and the width or height is 5. So the total, it's 20 square yards. Okay. So that's how many little square units. Now, if every square unit is $22, how do I find the total cost of putting carpet there? Multiply. So take your $22 times the 20 square yards. 0 times everything is 0. And that's going to be 4, and that's going to be 4. So it's going to cost $440. And that answer is right here. And you can do the puzzle. It's preferable. So $440. And we'll do this one because you need to know how to do that one. It says the rose garden is a rectangle and it is 9 meters wide. Its area, the whole entire area, is 144 square units. In fact, when you see that square, it's two-dimensional. They've already done the length times the width. And they want to find out what is this length. So what you've got to do is you've got to go back. You must use the formula. So right now on this one, on the number 11, you need to write the formula down. Area is equal to length times width. Then you're going to fill in the parts that you know. Do you know the area? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, this is the area. They already told you. They've already squared it for you. So the area is 144. Do we know the length? Do we know the length? We know the width, but do I know the length? No. So put the length back down. Do I know the width? It's what? It is 9. So we're finding, the question was, what is the length? Mateo, do you have a question? Okay. So how can I get rid of that 9? I'm going to divide because I want to isolate the L. So I'm going to divide by 9, divide by 9, and I just have to actually go through and divide it out. doesn't go, it goes at 1. And that is 9, into that goes 6. So the length is 16 units, such that if I multiplied the 16, the length, times the width of 9, I would get that 144. So that is your 16, 16 meters. All right. So we should be done completely with that worksheet. And by the way, that was number 48. Is, what are you finding? Oh, you're finding the, how do I do that? All right, I need to step it up. Okay. So what you're going to use today is you're going to use a couple different formulas. Let's go ahead and look at the first formula. Again, the formula for area of a rectangle or a square is base times height. The area of a parallelogram is base times height. And this is for a rectangle or a square. The area of a triangle, I said yesterday, is base times height, but a triangle is half of a parallelogram or half of a rectangle. So we're going to divide it by 2. So that's what we're going to be working with right now. We're going to do a couple of these. Okay. So we'll start with easy. Right. So on number 1. On number 1, it is a triangle. You're going to write your formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2. and then we're going to substitute the value. What is the base on the triangle? And by the way, this right angle, it connects your base and height. The base is 8 and the height is 6. So it's going to be 8 times 6 divided by 2. And we can reduce it, or this one's going to be easy enough just to work it out. So 8 times 6 is 48 divided by 2. So if I had a full rectangle, the area would be 48. But I've got half of a rectangle. So what's 48 divided by 2? It's going to be 24. So this one is 24 square centimeters. Yes, ma'am.
On the test for this, we have the formulas.
You will have the formulas. Yeah. All right. On the second one, it's easy peasy. And get used to writing the formulas. Area equals base times height, but it's not a rectangle. So I've got to divide it by 2. And again, this is an easy one. Just fill it out. What's my base?
10.
The base for sure is 10. The height goes straight up from the base. And again, that right angle connects the base and the height. So it's going to be 10 times 8 divided by 2.
40.
The answer is going to be 40. Easy peasy. So 40 square feet. Oh, I have to do some of those, but I don't have time. I need to do some of those. All right, so the number 3, I'm going to do 3 and 4. All right, on the number 3, it is again area equals base times height divided by 2. Who thinks they know what the base is on this number 3?
12.
If I turn this around, here is my base right here. This is my base. And again, I'm looking at this symbol. Who knows what the height is?
12.
The height is 12. Base and height goes straight up from that. The height goes straight up from the base. So it's going to be 30 times 12. 30 times 12 divided by 2. And here's one that I think I am going to reduce. I'm not going to reduce the 30. I'm going to reduce the 2 and the 12. 2 goes into 12 how many times? 6. And so we can find our answer right away. Who thinks they know what it is? 6 times 30 is what? 180. So that's going to be 180 square centimeters. And this one here, the number 4, I want to do that because sometimes they draw it a little bit different. Okay. Or it's shaped a little bit different. So again, area equals base times height. It's not a rectangle, so I have to divide it by 2. What is the obvious base?
5.
The base for sure is 5. And on a test, I'm going to give it to you where you've got a 1, a 7, and you've got to figure out what is the height. Well, the height, you look for the right angle. It connects the base and the height. The height goes straight up from the base. And again, it's at the highest point where a person would fall off a cliff, he'd go straight down. So the height on this is 2. So 5 times 2 divided by 2. What can I cross off right away? The 2's. What is the area? It is going to be 5 square units. 5 square yards. And then we're going to do a couple of the parallelograms. All right. So, parallelogram. Caitlin, stop. Okay. All right, on this parallelogram, this is a parallelogram because its opposite sides are the same. But if I cut off this part, and this, by the way, that was a rectangle, I could use base times height. But if I cut off this part, and I put it over here, it still has the same area, and that's why it is base times height. Yes? Yeah. Oh, so sorry. I need to... Caitlin, I need you to stop. Thank you. Alrighty. So again, a rectangle is just like a parallelogram. If I take a piece off and I move it, it still is going to have the same area. So its formula is still base times height, where this is my base and the height goes straight up. So this would be my height, just as if it were base times height of a rectangle or length times width. So we're going to do a few of those. So these are easy because they already give you the base and height. Here's my base. That 3 is my height. Who thinks they know the answer? 12. It's going to be 12 square units. Again, I'm not going to make it so easy. When I give you an assignment, I might have this 18, this 12, this side is 10. Which one is the base and which one is the height? 18 is the base, at times 12 is the height. And I really don't want to do this. Did you already multiply it out? So 2 times 18 is 36. 1 times 18 is 18. That's not that bad. Carry 1 and it's 216. So this one is 216 square inches. And I'm not going to do the others, okay? Because it's just base times height, base times height, base times height. I do want to talk some more about this, but because of time, I know. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're probably going to have the test if I can get it done. And then I'm going to pick up more of this on Friday because you need to know that. But go over to the very back. Okay. All right. So what they want you to find is they want you to find both the perimeter and the area. But we're just going to focus on area. Just on area today. So here's all the areas. Here's all the perimeters. And I'm going to say you can just cross out your answer. So some of them, I would start with, the ones I would start with, I would do the rectangle, the parallelogram. Here's another parallelogram. I would start out with the 1, the 2, in fact, you don't have to start with these, but it's my suggestion. All of these are base times height, base times height, base times height. And then this is like yesterday's assignment, where you've got to take the whole area of the large and take away the area of the small section. Same thing on the number 9.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For number 6, would 30 be the base? Because
Well, in fact, let's look at it. What did I tell you points to the base and the height? What symbol?
the angle,
The little right angle symbol. So if I turn it this way, is this points to the base, and then this points to the height. So what would be your base on this one?
30,
The base is the 30, and the height would be the what? The height's what? The height is the 50. Again, you look for that symbol. It goes straight up from the base. And so I'm going to put a little H here so you know how to do that. Right. Then, so those are the ones you might want to start off first or do those last. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So let's set up a couple of those triangles. So on the number 3, okay, area equals base. Do I just do base times height on a triangle? Mateo, get focused. Do I just do base times height on a triangle? No.
divided by
You have to divide it by 2. So on this first one, I'm going to let you finish it. What is the base and the height on the number 3? 12 and what? The 12, because I'm looking at this symbol, base and height. So you are right. It is the 12 times 8 divided by 2. And on this one, I would divide through by the 2 and the 8, and then you can get your answer. Go to the number, 4 is simple. 5, I'm going to help you set up. 5, again, area equals base times height divided by 2. What is your base and your height on number 5?
16 to 50.
Very good. That right angle symbol points to the base and the height. So again, it is going to be 16 times 15 divided by 2. And then I would reduce out that first, and then you can just multiply what's left. Easy. Then the number 6, I'm going to help you set up the number 6, and then I'm going to be done. Okay. The number 6 is going to be, all right, it's also a triangle, base times height divided by 2. Who thinks they know on the number 8, what is the, make sure you see this one, what is the base and what is the height? Leanna, what do you think the base and the height is on this number 6? What's that? I'm looking at the 8. Leanna, what do you think the base is and what do you think the height is? Okay. Leanna, what is the base on the number 8? It's what? The 2.8 is the base? 2.8 is not the base. Base, what do you think, Abinab? It's the 2.2. This symbol, advanced people, this symbol I've said about 4 or 5 times, points to the base. So that symbol points to the height and points to the base. So it's right here. It's this down number right here. That is your base. And your height would be what? The 2.8. So again, on that number 6, it is going to be 2.2 times 2.8 divided by 2. And on this one, I definitely would if you divided the 2.2 by 2, it's going to be 1.1, and then it's going to be very easy to work with. All right, so I would reduce that one. So with that said, all right, I'm going to say do as many as you can. I wanted to get to volume on Friday. I don't know if that's going to happen because we're going to, don't worry about right now doing the word problems. You can if you want. Try to finish these 9. We'll do the word problems, or I'll let you do some of them tomorrow right after the test. And then we've got to do some of these, but that we'll do on Friday. So right now, just worry about those 9, and you can begin. No, I said, no, you're doing 1 through 9. I just boxed those off because those are all base times height, base times height. Except the last 2 you have to subtract something also.
9 is base times height.
You have to take the outer box, base times height, minus the inner box, minus the inner area. And so you would be using base times height.